everyone, Omowumi Agumbeade here. In this channel, as an early childhood educator, I create content for early childhood educators, parents with young children, and policymakers who work with young children. So if you find yourself in this category as a stakeholder, please ensure you subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification bell so that whenever I upload new videos, you will be able to get them. And this way, we can all learn and grow together as we support the holistic development of every young child. You're welcome. How really does Montessori education work? Or how does Montessori method work in the nursery classroom? In the past few years, I've had a lot of questions in this area. Parents will come and ask, teachers who've worked in the conventional classroom, they're really very confused and they're not sure how this works in that environment. This video today is actually going to take you through a journey, a tour of what takes place daily in a Montessori prepared environment for early years. If you're ready to go, let's get there. So what really is Montessori? I decided to do this little clip before we get into the classroom. We could have some people watching this clip now and you actually don't have idea about what Montessori is, or you've heard about it but no specific clue. What is Montessori? Montessori method of learning, it was actually developed by Maria Montessori, an Italian physician, several years ago. Today, Montessori system or method of learning, both in early years and even in the elementary section, is very popular all over the world. This method of learning specifically is child focused. It's also hands-on learning. And what I love so much about this method of education is that it takes the child through the journey of concretizing learning as they move on through the process to abstract learning. So when you have children in this environment, before they go on to abstract learning, they first experience what they are learning hands-on. And actually, when we get into the video in the classroom, you see how this works. And in my journey as an early years educator, I've had to work in the conventional classroom. But the moment I experienced the Montessori method, I knew that this was what I ought to do. And I went full-blown into the system, and there is no regret. So in a typical Montessori environment, all the activities support the child's physical development, language development, cognitive development, emotional and social development. So when you enter a typical Montessori classroom, you have all sorts of materials and activities for the child to work with. We have what we call the Montessori work cycle. In this work cycle, you would have the children independently plan their own lesson, get what they want to do. At the same time, you will have the teachers plan lessons for the children and work with them. Without going too much into the theory, I'm going to take us into the classroom now. For those who would want to learn more about this Montessori method of learning or want to have more ideas what takes place in the classroom, in the description section, I'll put a few links for you where you can go and watch more videos or read up more on what Montessori method is all about. So let's get into the classroom now. So what you see happening here is a typical activity in the classroom during the work cycle. So we have children on this table with activities from the practical life area, and these are transferring activities using different forceps, spoons. We have another child working with the cutting activity material. This is another child pouring activity. All these activities from the practical life area helps to refine their fine motor skills and also develop independence, concentration, and social skills. So children really love to work with activities from the practical life area, and they are independently chosen. Now you have this teacher planned activity. The teacher is working with the children in literacy. So she's helping them with the workbooks. Oftentimes the teacher will get to plan this, or the children actually come to her to help them through. Now on this table you have another teacher working with some set of children in the numeracy area. So here children are writing their numbers, one or two of them. She'll take them individually because it's teacher plan. So she's working with this particular child with addition using the small number rods. So teacher will take the child through it. Before this, the child would have actually worked with the large number rods, so the child understands what the child is doing. Here on this table, you have this teacher working with another child. This is what the child would do before they actually start to write numbers, concretizing how and preparing them to write their numbers. So this is hands-on. This is the sandpaper numerals. Here you have this very interesting activity going on, teacher planned activity. The children work in groups and they're working with the golden bead material. They concretize their learning, working with units, tens, hundreds, and thousands. Here you have these children independently choose this activity that they have actually been introduced to previously. Now back to the golden bead activity. So you have the children here working with the teacher. They are actually presently preparing the set of cards, the symbols in units, in tens, in hundreds, and in thousands. And they're getting ready to carry out their addition in thousand. Really interesting. The children love to work with this activity. You can see them setting up this symbols. You can see the teacher here with the addition card. So the children will get to pick the quantities, and then they pick the symbols, combine together, and they add the addends to get the sum. So the children experience this before they start to do this in their exercise book. And this is what I said in my previous clip, where I said the Montessori environment concretized the child's learning. Before they start to work in abstract, they actually experience what it is. So they know their numbers in thousands, in tens, in hundreds, in units, because they've experienced it concretely. So this is another activity ongoing, the same period. The child is working with activity from the practical life area. Beading, this child is working with activity from the practical life area. Pegging, the other one is pouring. And on this same table, you have this child working with the cutting activity, and a beautiful discussion going on between them. That's another activity. That's another reason why I love this classroom. You get the children work together and discuss. Now this is a very interesting activity from the geography area, the puzzle map of the world, where the children learn about continents. Now that child working with alphabets, sandpaper alphabets, and this child is working with an activity from the sensorial area, color box 3. Here is a beautiful conversation ongoing with the children from the practical life area. Another activity here, the pouring activity. All right, I hope you have enjoyed this classroom tour. I want to believe that there's a lot going on inside of you right now. You would have observed quite a lot of things. You would have seen the children in action. Very interesting clip. I can tell you that while the recording was ongoing, I also enjoyed myself in the classroom. And I want to ask you a question for the day. Or I should say question after watching this clip. What were your observations? What did you see in the clip? What were the aha moments for you? Kindly share with us in the comment section and let's have your views. I want to say a very big thank you to all the teachers and the parents and also the children at Tender Cradle School. We have the children in this class ages 3 to 6. And you could see in the video that they were very oblivious of me being in the classroom. They were just busy doing all that they had to do. I called it Candid Camera. And that class is actually the adventurous class at Tender Cradle School. I want to say a big thank you to the team. Thank you for the cooperation and granting me the opportunity to come into your class and just be able to share what happens in your classroom with other people who want to learn what Montessori method is and how it works in the typical prepared environment. Thank you very much for staying on till now. Were there any very useful tips for you? I'm sure you gained a lot. So if this video added value to your learning, don't forget to subscribe. And of course, ensure you turn on your notification bell and look forward to our next video. Very interesting. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye.